So again, we don't have any ribbons for the no pick zone, but for contest purposes, we're not going to pick in the no pick zone. So you're going to go to 4 different sites: cropland, pasture land, home site, forest land. There will be 4 pits. We'll rotate. We talked about that. So we'd come down into the hole, and there's only 2 things that we need in the pit. The only 2 things we need in the pit are depth of soil and our soil erosion. Okay, and so we have to determine soil depth in the bottom, and then we have to determine soil erosion within the no pick zone. Okay, so I'm going to draw us, let's say our ribbon, actually, I'll do it this way since y'all were right there. Say our no pick zone is right in here, right? So that's just imaginary no pick zone, okay? You come into the hole. First thing I want to do is check the bottom of the hole for rock, okay? So we're going to kind of pick down here, and there is rock. You can hear that. There's bedrock. It's actually on the end down here. Just listen. There is right there. Hear that? That's bedrock, okay? So, contest purposes, the hole has to be dug to 44 inches. If that hole is not dug at 44 inches, there's something wrong. So hand me your clipboard, Sandra, okay? So, we walked into the hole. What we're going to do is we're going to measure. Our clipboard is 12, it's 11.5, it's a foot. We're going to guesstimate. We're going to start from the bottom. I like to start from the bottom. 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot. It's 44 inches. It's dug to what it is. So on our scorecard, depth of soil, it would be deep, right? But what we have to do is we have to pick the bottom of the hole to make sure that if there's rock in the bottom, it's 44 inches and you stop. But if there is no rock in the bottom, you have to assume that it goes on for forever, okay? And that's more important in home site, and we'll get there. Okay, so pocket knife, where did it go in my pocket? So you walk into the hole. First thing we're going to do is get depth. I think depth is the easiest. Depth is something we cannot miss. If we miss our depth at a contest, we're shooting ourselves in the foot because it's that easy. You walk into the hole. Again, I'll show you one more time. Walk into the hole, measure from the bottom, 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot. Don't sweat it. If you're getting 4 clipboards out of it, it's 48 inches. Pick the bottom of the hole. There's rock, okay? Our numbers for deep are greater than 40 inches. That's a deep hole. You mark it, okay? The only other thing that we need out of the pit is soil erosion, okay? I forgot to print those site cards. Y'all know what I'm talking about from the previous contest. I printed some off. They will tell you there were 10 inches of original topsoil thickness, right? Or they'll say there were 12 inches of original topsoil. Whatever number they give you, it's on that card, okay? So, excuse me. Here's our no pick zone. I'll do it right here. Our no pick zone. We're looking in for a color change. First, we're going to look with our eyes, right? There's a kind of a way that we're going to do this. We're going to look with our eyes, and we're going to see this soil profile change, right? What we're looking for is where does the topsoil meet the subsoil, okay? So for this scenario, the judge said there were 16 inches of original topsoil thickness, okay? We cannot pick in the no pick zone. We've got to come as close as we can to the no pick zone. I'm gonna come on this side, and we're just gonna start picking, okay? And you're gonna see as the soil profile changes, there's a lot of sand rock in here, but you're gonna see how it's harder to pick right there. You see that? So I'll go back up top. So here, see how easy that goes in? Easy to go in, getting a little tougher, right? So we're looking for that transition. Where does my topsoil end? So what I like to do, and I'm gonna do it in the no pick zone just because we're, it's a little tighter hole. So I'm gonna come up right here, and I'm gonna texture it, spray it with my water, feel what my soil is, okay? So that's pretty easy to go through. It's getting a little tougher. Pull some here, feel it, feel the texture change. And there's a transition layer from our A layer, our topsoil, our B layer, our subsoil. There's a transition that we have to find. And here we're good. This is really rocky, but but you can see the color change, right? So what I would do is, I think all this is topsoil. You can see really, if y'all get a little closer,
Yeah.
see how light it is right in here? That is the same, and I think it's just looser up here. It's kind of compacted, so really compacted. So this is a tough scenario. But really what you're doing is you're looking for where does that transition. So if I said 16 inches of the topsoil thickness, we see a color change here. Wherever you think the line is, draw you a line. Take your clipboard. We're gonna measure it. The judge said there was a 16 inches of original topsoil. That's a foot. That's about 4 inches. So I'm measuring 16 inches of topsoil. So none's been washed away, less than 25, none to slight. Does that make sense? So the two things that we've got to do when we come into the pit is check our depth, pick the bottom of the hole, measure with our clipboard. Then we've got to do soil erosion. Come as close as you can to this ribbon, this no pick zone. Feel the texture at the top, feel the texture below it. Look for that transition and pick your knife in it and just see where it gets tougher. See, this is actually better right here. So forget this stuff up top, okay? See how tough that is? Okay, it's a little easier. So we're having a transition here. So I'm gonna pull that off, feel it, use your bottle, moisten the soil. So we've got that. We've got this up here. There's a color difference and there's a texture difference. Look at this. See how much this is holding together? That is holding together, that's falling apart. So we know that there is a different soil profile here at the top. So we're gonna draw our line. I'm gonna say, let me do it one more time. So here, there's picking. I actually might go, I think, right in there. Subsoil, topsoil. Judge said there was 10 inches of original topsoil. Take your clipboard, measure it. Say this is the top of our hole right in here.
Yeah.
That's about 6 inches, right? So that means if there's 6 left out of 10 original, 40's been washed away, and 40% be none to slight moderate. So this is the hardest part of the contest, honestly. Erosion, and these two can vouch for you. Erosion's tough. You just got to figure out a method. I wish I could get a soil scientist out here to actually him judge it and then us do it. But the two things we can't forget are picking the hole, measuring, and doing the erosion. So I'm gonna let y'all get in here, practice a little bit, and I've got about 4 other holes set up, and we're gonna go through those like a real contest, okay? You got any questions? Anything? Are you nervous, Sandra?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Any questions? Good? Start it.